G'day folks, and welcome to Ken's Home Video. It's Sunday the 15th of July and we're at Macca's on the M4 assembling to take a trip up the Great Western Highway to Catalina Park at Katoomba. Here we have the very first outing out for the Susan and Sandy LH Torana, the white one. There's 9 Toranas in a row heading along the M4. It's a great sight. There was a fairly good roll up for today's event. And here we go. We're just outside the car park to Catalina Park Raceway, and we can get onto the circuit and have a bit of a look at it. Catalina Park was a motor racing circuit from the late 50s right through to the early 70s, and then later on took up rallycross. They used most of the circuit, including the Tunnel of Love and Lockheed Straight, and then up Lockheed Straight they veered off into the bush and came back onto from Bosch Corner. And here we are on the start-finish line on Lockheed Straight, ready to walk the circuit. Up on the hill near the signs was the marshalling grid and the pit area. The circuit itself is just a fraction over 2 kilometres long. It's pretty much like a cloverleaf in design, with a majority of corners being left-hand corners. And here we go for the entrance to the rallycross circuit. It's fairly overgrown at the moment, but this is where you leave Lockheed Straight. There's a further round into the bushland where the track used to carry from. This is a view looking down Lockheed Straight back to the start finish line. This is a famous piece of road, not for what it was, but for what happened. It was Bob Jane losing a rear axle and spearing over the fence. Here we go. This is a view from Dunlop Curve. It's a left-hand sweeper of about 90 degrees.
Ice.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that, black ice. Oh, he's slippery.
I just got the skin on
Yeah.
it. Shit, what's that?
Yeah, yeah.
Bloody ice.
You know,
It's a shame they don't have like much of the. I'm sure it's probably rotting on the walls and that as well, like.
yeah,
Shame
yeah.
none of that's still in.
Yeah, so there wasn't a lot of sponsorship back then.
Yeah.
The only thing you see was the side.
After Dunlop Curb, you go along a bit of a straight, then you start going up this rise with a slight right-hand bend, and then it goes up a fairly steep hill, heading up towards Craven A Corner. And here we are at the infamous Craven A Corner. Must have been a driver's nightmare, this one. After coming up the hill, you go into this radius left corner, and at the end of the corner it's a sharp left-hand turn as well. It's not very wide across here, so I don't think two would go into one. Someone's going to have to give way. The only signage we managed to find on the whole circuit was this sign that says "Enjoy Craven A Filters" on Craven A Corner. From Craven A Corner you're starting to head downhill, and here we are at Castrol Curve, which will be probably a fairly high speed left hand corner. There you go. And then it heads further back down the circuit, heading for home. Still heading downhill from Castrol Curve, we approach onto Bosch Corner. Now this is where the rally cross track comes back onto the main circuit. It's a fairly high speed right hand turn here. And here we go, this is the remains of the rallycross track. As you can see, there's the main circuit, and this is where it comes back on. And here we go with Sandy and Dave. Dave was doing the commentary around the circuit, as he'd been to the place many a times when it was a prime motor racing circuit. He was a wealth of information, and it was our privilege to go around there with him. Okay, this is probably the most well-known and famous part of the circuit. We're heading up to Enegol Curve, or commonly known as the Tunnel of Love. As Dave explained to it, there was a lot of cars doing a bit of kissing going around this corner. It was a very sharp left-hand corner with barricades either side, very much like a tunnel. And as you can see, it's a very tight left-hand radius. This is just about heading on to Lockheed Straight for the run home to the checkered flag, so the cars would have been vying for positions well and truly going through the Tunnel of Love. Okay, that's about it for our guided walk around Catalina Park. It's fairly overgrown and dilapidated now, but you could see that it was a great circuit back in the past. Catalina Park, we headed off to a picnic ground near the Scenic Railway and Skyline for a bit of lunch. Well, that's about it, folks, for the Sydney Torana Club run to Catalina Park Raceway. Pretty good day. It was cold. It went from 1 degrees to a maximum of 8. But it was well attended by STC members, and we had a great time.